Hi, my name is Liz and welcome to Bits of Information. And right now I want to start with talking about what information actually is. We're constantly bombarded by information, social media, news, TV shows, Netflix, or just even going outside and looking around. This is all information interpreted and processed by our brains. We often feel either overwhelmed or understimulated by the information. So let's turn our attention into what it actually is. Can you see it? Can you touch it? Can you measure it? If I tell you that square root of 9 equals 3, is that information or isn't it? This kind of depends on who you ask. There are a lot of definitions of what information is, and right now I just want to focus on two of them. I'll start with Claude Shannon. He's considered to be the father of informational theory, and in his paper A Mathematical Theory of Communication, he talks about information, about how to measure it, and basically how to get it from point A to point B. So for him, any message, any signal is information. And then by analyzing this signal, we can actually quantify the amount of information in it. This makes sense. If I take a piece of paper and I write that the square root of 9 equals 3, and then I give it to somebody, I kind of gave them a message and then they read it. So I took some effort, used some paper, used some ink and some knowledge, and then this person received it, read it and like, interesting. Now, was this piece of paper with this written on it useful to a person or not? That's actually another question and a different question according to Claude Shannon. And now let's ask somebody else. And let's ask Julius Schrader, a Soviet mathematician, philosopher, and cyberneticist. In his paper describing a model of semantic theory of information, he pointed out the idea that perception is observer-dependent. So let's take Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Because I have a Lego of Harry Potter. So some people might love the book, some people might hate the book. Some of you might love the book and then watch a movie and hate the book, or hate the book and then read other books and, oh my god, this was amazing, love the book again. So depending on the person and on the particular point in time when you ask this person a question about Harry Potter, they might love it or hate it or just don't care about it. So what Schrader noticed that if you take a piece of art and then you look at analysis performed by different critics at different times, this analysis would be often different. And this kind of brings us to a beautiful word, Thesaurus. So Thesaurus is knowledge base of the receiver about the world and the receiver's ability to comprehend different messages. So basically, Thesaurus is the knowledge base of the receiver. And from that we can create the definition for information. Information is the change in the receiver's thesaurus when receiving a message. And now we come back to our question. Square root of 9 equals 3. Is that information? And according to Schrader, that actually depends on you, the receiver of this magnificent message. If you are in elementary school, no, it's not information for you, because you have no idea what I'm talking about. It's because your thesaurus is not prepared for this message. You don't know enough about numbers, algebra, mathematics, arithmetics to understand what this means and to remember it and comprehend it. If you are in high school, yeah, probably this is information because this is right about now you're learning this. So you get this knowledge, you understand it, and that was information, that was useful. If you are a math professor, again, no, this is not information because your thesaurus at this point is oversaturated for this particular message. Basically, for you, this is nothing new. You'll know this already, so it's not news, it's not information. This hasn't changed your view of the world a bit. So information is the change in one's thesaurus. So let's be even more fancy about all this and look at a bell curve about information. In case you need to expand your thesaurus right about now, bell curve is a curve in the shape of the bell. Let's go. So here on the vertical axis is information, and on the horizontal axis is thesaurus. When we're here, it means that our thesaurus is pretty poor and not prepared for kind of any message, right? So the same message, the square root of 9 equals 3, will not be information for you. When you're here, you're kind of like in elementary school. Here is the opposite. We are too prepared for this message. We kind of know this already. So this is not information again. And the closer we are to the top, the more change the message will give us, the more to us this is information. And I love this definition. I love this approach because it actually helps me understand certain things about my personal journey through education and generally the education as a concept. It explains why sometimes when I was listening to lectures in the uni, I could not for the life of me understand what was happening. And at that time, I thought that like, man, something's wrong with me. Everybody seems to get this and I don't. But actually what was happening is that my thesaurus at the time was not prepared for the message that I was receiving on a lecture. And later when I broadened my thesaurus in that topic, I started to understand certain things that people tried to explain to me. If you're learning something new right now, on the one hand, the subject can be too confusing at the moment and it doesn't mean that you'll never get it. And this is like an important thing. It just means that you need to broaden your thesaurus and come back to this message. On the other hand stands boredom. You're bored because you already know this. And probably the most important thing at this point is not to switch off, because what if the new message comes in and you're already not paying attention? Kind of only in the middle of this bell curve, when your thesaurus is perfectly prepared for the particular message, true education can lie and you will learn how to get stuff. So I think the challenge often is to find this, to tweak the amount of things you read or the YouTube channels you watch, I don't know, or the lectures you go to actually keep your thesaurus at the perfect level for each message that you're receiving. I hope this video was information for you, and more than that, I hope that this was interesting information for you. If it was, just tell me about it. And hope to see you soon. Bye!